Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the annals of time, unraveling the mysteries of our collective past. Today we find ourselves in the majestic city of Imperial Beijing, a metropolis that has witnessed the rise and fall of dynasties, the ebb and flow of cultures, and the relentless march of history. As we delve into the origins of this venerable city, let us begin by setting the stage for the drama that is to unfold. In the distant past, the landscape that would eventually give birth to Imperial Beijing was a mere whisper of its future self. The region, nestled in the northernmost reaches of the North China Plain, was a fertile ground for human settlement, with the nearby Yan Mountains and the meandering Yangting River providing a natural cradle for the growth of civilization. It is here, in this very landscape, that we find the earliest stirrings of Imperial Beijing's history. As we journey back in time to the first millennium BC, we encounter the Zhou dynasty, which ruled China from 1046 to 256 BC. During this period, the city of Ji, the precursor to Imperial Beijing, began to take shape. The Zhou dynasty's western capital, Hao, was located near modern-day Guanan, but its eastern capital, Chengzhou, was situated near present-day Luoyang. However, it was the city of Ji that would eventually become the focal point of imperial power in the north. The city of Ji was first mentioned in historical records during the Western Zhou period, around 1046 BCA. It was a small settlement, nestled between the Yangting River and the Juma River, with a strategic location that controlled the trade routes between the Yellow River Valley and the northern regions of China. As the Zhou dynasty consolidated its power, Ji grew in importance, becoming a key center for trade and commerce. One of the most significant figures in Ji's early development was the Duke of Zhou, a renowned statesman and regent who played a crucial role in establishing the Zhou dynasty. According to historical records, the Duke of Zhou visited Ji in 1043 BC, where he oversaw the construction of the city's first walls and established it as a major administrative center. During the spring and autumn period, which spanned from 771 to 476 BC, Ji continued to grow in importance as it became a major center for trade and commerce. The city's strategic location allowed it to control the flow of goods and ideas between the Yellow River Valley and the northern regions of China. As we delve deeper into this period, we find that Ji's development was influenced by the rise of neighboring states, such as Yan and Zhao, which would eventually play a significant role in shaping Imperial Beijing's history. The construction of the city's first walls, which date back to the 8th century BC, marked a significant milestone in Ji's growth and solidified its position as a key urban center. As we explore the historical context of Ji's emergence, we find that the city's early development was shaped by the complex interplay between geography, politics, and culture. As the Zhou dynasty gave way to the Qin and then the Han, Ji underwent significant transformations as it became increasingly integrated into the imperial administration. The construction of the Grand Canal during the Sui dynasty, which connected the city to the Yangtze River Valley, further solidified Ji's position as a vital hub for trade and commerce. As we pause to reflect on these early developments, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of Imperial Beijing's emergence as a major world power. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the drama is about to unfold. Join me, dear listeners, as we step into the midst of this unfolding narrative and discover the fascinating story of how Imperial Beijing became one of the most magnificent cities in human history. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we continue our journey through the annals of time, unraveling the mysteries of Imperial Beijing's majestic past. As we enter the 13th century, we find ourselves in the midst of the Yuan dynasty, founded by Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan. It is during this period that Ji undergoes a transformation of monumental proportions as it becomes the capital of the Yuan Empire, renamed Dadu, or Great Capital. The city's strategic location, nestled between the Yangding River and the Juma River, made it an ideal hub for trade and commerce, connecting the Mongol Empire to the Silk Road and the vast expanse of the Asian continent. Under the rule of Kublai Khan, Dadu flourishes, becoming a cosmopolitan center of culture, learning, and innovation. The city's famous Marco Polo Bridge, built during this period, spans the Yangding River, symbolizing the connection between East and West. As we explore the historical context of Dadu's emergence, we find that the city's development was shaped by the complex interplay between Mongol traditions, Chinese culture, and international influences. One of the most significant architectural achievements of this period is the construction of the Forbidden City, which would eventually become the imperial palace of the Ming and Qing dynasties. Although the original structure was destroyed by fire, its foundations laid the groundwork for the magnificent complex that stands today. As we wander through the labyrinthine streets of Dadu, we find ourselves surrounded by the vibrant sounds, smells, and colors of a thriving metropolis, where merchants from all corners of the world gather to exchange goods, ideas, and stories. As the Yuan dynasty gives way to the Ming, Imperial Beijing undergoes another transformation as it becomes the capital of a resurgent Chinese empire. The city's name is changed to Beijing, or Northern Capital, reflecting its status as the center of imperial power. During this period, the Forbidden City is rebuilt and expanded, becoming one of the largest palace complexes in the world. As we explore the historical context of Beijing's emergence, we find that the city's development was shaped by the complex interplay between Confucian traditions, Buddhist influences, and the legacy of Mongol rule. The 15th century sees the rise of the Ming dynasty's most famous emperor, Zhu Di, who rules from 1402 to 1424. During his reign, Beijing undergoes a golden age of cultural and economic development as the city becomes a hub for learning, art, and innovation. The construction of the Temple of Heaven, a masterpiece of Ming architecture, reflects the emperor's desire to connect with the divine and ensure the prosperity of his empire. As we delve deeper into this period, we find that Beijing's development was influenced by the rise of neighboring states, such as the Joseon dynasty in Korea and the Ayutthaya Kingdom in Siam. The city's strategic location allowed it to control the flow of goods and ideas between China and the rest of Asia, solidifying its position as a major center of trade and commerce. As the Ming dynasty gives way to the Qing, Imperial Beijing undergoes another transformation, as it becomes the capital of a vast and multicultural empire. The city's name remains unchanged, but its culture and traditions are shaped by the complex interplay between Manchu, Chinese, and Mongol influences. During this period, the Forbidden City is expanded and renovated, reflecting the Qing emperor's desire to legitimize their rule and connect with the legacy of their Ming predecessors. As we pause to reflect on these pivotal events, we find ourselves standing at the height of Imperial Beijing's power and influence, a city that has captivated the imagination of the world for centuries. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the drama is about to unfold. Join me, dear listeners, as we step into the midst of this unfolding narrative and discover the fascinating story of how Imperial Beijing became one of the most magnificent cities in human history. Welcome to the third segment of our podcast, where we explore the fascinating story of Imperial Beijing. As we enter the 19th century, Imperial Beijing is confronted with the complexities of colonialism and the decline of the Qing Empire. The city's strategic location makes it a prized possession for European powers, particularly Britain, which seeks to expand its influence in East Asia. The Opium Wars, fought between China and Britain from 1839 to 1842, and again from 1856 to 1860, have a profound impact on Imperial Beijing, as the city is forced to open up to foreign trade and diplomacy. The Treaty of Nanjing, signed in 1842, marks the beginning of a new era for Imperial Beijing, as the city becomes a hub for international relations and cultural exchange. The establishment of foreign legations in the city, including the British legation, introduces Western architecture, customs, and ideas to the Chinese capital. However, this period also sees the rise of anti-foreigner sentiment and the Boxer Rebellion, which breaks out in 1899 and threatens the stability of the Qing Empire. As the Qing dynasty collapses in 1912, Imperial Beijing enters a new era of transformation, as the city becomes the capital of the Republic of China. The fall of the monarchy marks the end of imperial rule in China, and the city's name is officially changed to Beiping or Northern Peace. However, this period also sees the rise of warlordism and factionalism, as various military leaders vie for control of the city and the country. The 1920s and 1930s see a cultural renaissance in Imperial Beijing, as the city becomes a hub for intellectual and artistic innovation. The establishment of Peking University, one of China's most prestigious institutions, attracts scholars and thinkers from across the country. Writers such as Lu Xun and Mao Dun make the city their home, and the city's vibrant art scene is characterized by the works of artists like Qi Baishi and Zhu Baihe. However, this period also sees the rise of Japanese aggression in East Asia, and Imperial Beijing is occupied by Japanese forces from 1937 to 1945. The city suffers greatly during this period, as its cultural heritage and infrastructure are damaged or destroyed. The Marco Polo Bridge, which had symbolized the connection between East and West, is now a site of conflict and bloodshed. As Japan is defeated in World War II, Imperial Beijing enters a new era of transformation, as the city becomes the capital of the People's Republic of China in 1949. The Communist Party, led by Mao Zedong, seeks to remake the city in its own image, and the city undergoes a series of radical transformations, including the destruction of many of its historic buildings and the relocation of its residents. Today, Imperial Beijing is a thriving metropolis, with a rich cultural heritage and a vibrant economy. As we reflect on the challenges and transformations that the city has faced over the centuries, we are reminded of the enduring spirit of this magnificent city, which has captivated the imagination of the world for so long. As the Chinese historian and philosopher Wang Fuji once said, "The city is a mirror of the times, reflecting the joys and sorrows of humanity." Imperial Beijing's story is a testament to the power of human resilience and creativity, and its legacy continues to inspire us today. Join us next time as we explore more stories from the city's rich cultural heritage. Thank you for listening. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.